Hi Leo, welcome to July. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month, we have the last of the Capricorn eclipses. We have the moon, a lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 4th or 5th, depending on where you live. And then we have a new moon in Cancer on July 20th. And Mars moves into air, has moved into Aries. It moved in, I think, on the 30th of June. So, and Mars is favorable to your sign in Aries. And Mars is home in Aries, so it's going to give us a lot of energy and momentum. So let's see what's coming up this month for Leo in terms of the eclipses. Because this is the last, it's a full moon eclipse, so something is culminating, something is coming to completion. We're finishing up lessons that we've been dealing with over the past 2 years. And especially in Capricorn, there's always some kind of karmic aspect to anything ruled by Saturn. And so we've been working really hard. And we're coming to a completion or culmination. So it can represent the ending of something or the new, like eclipses eclipse things from our lives. So something is done, it's ready, it's ready to be released, and you're ready for a new cycle. And we'll get into the astrology later, but let's see what the cards say. What does Leo need to know for the month of July 2020? What will the eclipse bring? And the new moon in Cancer. What will the eclipse in Capricorn and the new moon in Cancer bring this month for Leo? What does Leo need to know? You may hear some thunder and lightning while I'm doing this. We're having a storm come through. So let's see what we got. The Devil. The Eight of Wands. The Three of Wands. The King of Wands. The Five of Wands. The Chariot. The Death card. The Two of Swords. The Page of Cups. The Three of Pentacles. Okay. So you're starting out the month with the Devil card and the Eight of Wands. The Devil can represent, you might be dealing with something that you're obsessed with, something you're addicted to. It could be for some people it could be drugs or alcohol. For others it could just be an obsession. Just something that you can't, it's like it's consuming you. It could be a relationship or even a job situation, a career path that you just can't let go of, or you feel like it's devouring you in some way. Because the Devil, there's a lot of strong, passionate feelings with the Devil energy. And sometimes even fear. You may fear like you're being overwhelmed. Fear like something is taking over you. If it's a job, you might be feeling like I am just consumed by this job and I have no life outside of it, or my work. If it's a relationship, it could be that you could be in like a codependent type relationship where you're just giving too much, or you're so enmeshed with the person that you're losing your identity. But you have the Eight of Wands crossing. So the Eight of Wands is new energy coming in, new opportunities, things happening quickly, doors opening up. And you have the Chariot in the future. So you may have a chance to reach escape velocity this month. When the Eight of Wands comes up, in a relationship it can mean sudden feelings developing, or sudden love, sudden messages. In a career situation, it could mean doors opening up, opportunities showing up that you thought out of the blue. All of a sudden, here's this new opportunity to move into a new direction, and you have to make a quick decision, because the Eight of Wands energy is quick, it's speed, and you might even feel like things are happening too quickly. I don't know if I'm ready for this. But usually the Eight of Wands is a positive card, and it brings positive energy of change, but it also relates to speed. So especially with the eclipse energy, eclipses usually have that sudden change, that sudden thing that comes up, and now you have to act quickly. You don't have time to prepare. So it pushes up your timeline or your trajectory. So if you may have had plans to do something down the road, and now you have to do it now. So you could be breaking free from this devil energy. You could be realizing, so if you're, and this is not for everybody, so but if you're struggling with an addiction or some kind of an escapist behavior, you have an opportunity to maybe meet with people that can help you get out of it, to help you break free. If you're dealing with something that you maybe you're afraid of getting too involved with someone because you're afraid of losing your identity, there could be some new love or new beginning that helps you to overcome those fears, helps you to break free of something that's been holding on to you, draining your energy, dragging you down. You have the Three of Wands here in the past. So this is a card of, you've already started to see some measure of success. You've already put energy out there. You may be working in an environment with someone. If it's a work situation, you might be working as part of a team. And maybe now things are starting to pick up. You're starting to see results. So you've been working really hard, especially with this eclipse being in Capricorn. It's about work. It's about hard work, the effort you put in, the commitment, the discipline. And since it's the ending of a cycle, I feel like if you've put the work in, you're going to get the reward. So, and if you didn't put the work in, and if you kind of just like skated by, then you're going to get the results of that too. So one way or another, you're going to get what you deserve, based on what you've put in. You have this King of Wands energy. This could represent you as the Leo, someone who's a leader, because this King of Wands you have a presence when you step into a room. When you're a Leo, you are a natural leader. You don't, you speak your mind. You're not afraid to give your opinion. You're not afraid to be the boss, to direct things, to help others figure things out. Leos are always helping everybody. They're always giving advice. They're always telling people, you need to do this and you need to do that, because they care. They have big hearts. So usually you find Leos in positions of leadership. It's a natural of the fire signs. They're just natural leaders because they're very honest and they're very upfront. They're not devious. Like some of the other signs could be a little bit sneaky or, behind the scenes kind of thing. But not a Leo. A Leo will be, this is who I am, and like me, love me or leave me. You know who you are. You have a very strong ego, most of you. So this is someone who could be a little bit bossy at times, but is coming from a place of wanting to help. You just have this strong energy. You're just, you have a presence. When a Leo smiles, it's like the sun came out. When a Leo enters a room, you have to notice their energy. They're not shrinking violets. There are some Leos who have their sun in the 12th house that might be more introverted, but the average Leo wants to be out there, wants to be noticed, wants to be seen, wants to be admired, especially for the work that they do and their talents. So you have the Five of Wands here. There's competition. If you're working on a project, you might be not agreeing with your coworkers, or there might be it's like every man for himself all of a sudden, because the Five represents conflict and instability. And with the Wands, if you could look at the card, it's like a mock fight. It really represents competition. So whatever you're trying to achieve, there's competition. And you may have to deal with that. You might have to take a leadership role to deal with this competition, or try to get everybody on the same page. Maybe whatever you're working on, everybody's like, it's every man for himself. And you can't get people to work together as part of a team. This could also mean internal conflict. Like you're wanting to do something, but you're really not sure what direction you want to go in. Maybe you have more than one option and you're trying to figure out what's right for you. You have the Chariot here in the future. That's the card of victory through discipline and focus. So maybe you've been scattering your energy. Maybe you've been, doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit somewhere else. And you're all over the place. And you can't really focus. You can't really, it's like you're a jack of all trades almost. Or you have so many ideas and so many talents. You don't want to give anything up. You just want to do it all. But what happens is when you try to do it all, you wind up not doing any of it well. Because this is a card about focus. What is it that I really want? What's the main goal? Let me not be distracted by all these other possibilities. Let me just focus on that main goal I want to achieve. And then this assures your victory. You have to be controlled. This is a card of mental discipline. You know, you don't want your mind taking you all over in different directions, because the mind will do that, you know, monkey mind. But if you can control your thoughts and really try to focus on what the real goal, like what's my goal? What am I trying to achieve? Let me just focus on that. Once you know what the goal is, then you'll know what to let go of. Because anything that doesn't support the goal falls to the wayside. Then you won't be in conflict and you won't be in this state of scattered energy. You'll be able to zero in like an arrow. And that's what this Eight of Wands is. It's the arrow. It's arrows, you know, flying in the air to hit the target, you know, and you're going to be having a chance to do that this month. The Death card. Now, the Death card doesn't mean death in a literal sense. It's in your fear sector, but it does mean an ending. So something in your life is coming to an end. You might be thinking about the past and realizing, you know, that certain cycles have ended, certain cycles are no longer meaningful, and it's time to let go. It's time to bless them and release them. So maybe you're still, you know, if you're still hanging on to the past, something like maybe a relationship that ended or some past situation that didn't work out, it's time to kiss it goodbye. It's time to bury it, bless it, and walk away, because it's interfering with who you are now. And you need to keep your focus on the present. Forget about the past. The past is done. You know, that cycle's over. The Death card wants you to clear out the old and make room for the new. And the new is on offer. It's coming. But you have to make a decision. You have this Two of Swords here in your environment. This is being on the fence. You know, like I'm trying to do everything, but I can't decide where I want to focus my energy. And so I'm just doing nothing. I'm just, you know, keeping it all going. I'm trying to juggle. But you can't keep that up forever. And in a relationship, if this has to do with relationship, for some of you, it could be that you're not talking to someone, that you've had a falling out with someone, or you're just not speaking, you're not reaching out. And maybe you're afraid to be vulnerable. You're waiting for the other person to make the first move. They're waiting for you to make the first move. Or nobody wants to put their cards on the table. No one wants to be vulnerable. You're trying to, you know, Leo, it has a lot of pride. And you don't want to look weak. And you see vulnerability as a sign of weakness. It isn't really. It's a sign of strength to be vulnerable, to show who you are. It takes a lot of courage to open your heart and to lay your cards on the table and show who you are. You don't have to keep that big wall up, you know, that I'm, you know, mighty and I don't trip and fall and I don't cry. You know, you don't have to be that tough. It takes more courage to be vulnerable than it does to be tough. So if you've had a falling out with someone, somebody needs to break the ice. You need to reach out to that person and have an honest conversation with them. Maybe there are feelings or words that need to be said this month. And if you can do that, you'll get out of this state of indecision. Then you'll know. Once you have that conversation, once you lay your cards on the table, you'll know one way or another which way to proceed. Do I stay and make it work, or do I walk away? But just being silent and keeping to yourself, waiting for the other person, it's never going to happen. And so you're going to have to make a decision, probably in a month, within the month. I would guess we have a new moon in Cancer. So that's falling in your 12th house of solitude. You know, it's time for you to come out of retirement, you know, come out of that retreat that you've been living in and start to take action in your life, start to be more active. When you have that new moon next month in Leo, that's when it's time to show your stuff, to strut your stuff. So, but before that, so you're in the process of ending something, and probably around this full moon, you're going to see what needs to be ended. And if it may involve, you know, reaching out and talking to someone that you haven't spoken to, trying to reconnect and reestablish some kind of understanding. Page of Cups is here in your wish fulfillment. This can represent a child. For those of you who have children, you may feel like I want to have a child, or I want to reach out and connect with a child. If it's a relationship, it could be a new relationship coming, because the page would be a relationship in its early stages. Someone very creative, artistic, and sensitive. So you might be dealing with someone like a water sign, or someone who's just very sensitive, and you have to be careful how you talk to them, because they get their feelings hurt very easily. Anyway, there could be someone that either you or them, this is a message of love, the Page of Cups. So someone may be wanting to tell you how they feel about you. Maybe you either want to tell them or they want to tell you. So it's time to drop, if you're in some kind of a conflict in a relationship, it's time to drop your guard and let your feelings show. Speak your truth. Because I think it will help. It will give you an opportunity for a new beginning in the relationship, and bring more, and stop the petty fighting, because the Five of Wands could also be petty conflict. Like, you're not really fighting over the real issue. You're fighting over, oh, you left the toothpaste cap off again, like, or the toilet seat's up, But that's not what you're really mad about. That's what you're fighting over, but you're not really willing to go deep, because you have the fear, the devil. The fear of, like, if I open myself up, am I going to lose myself? If I'm too vulnerable, am I going to lose who I am, my identity? If I get too close to this person, am I going to be weakened by the relationship? So you're thinking about these things. But you have the Three of Pentacles as a final outcome. This is a card of success, recognition, promotion, being recognized for the work that you do, being rewarded for the work that you do. So I feel like if you're in a career situation that's gotten kind of toxic, there might be some new opportunities where you can move into a new situation, or finally get the promotion, finally see the results from all your hard work. If it's a relationship, you can create something successful. But to do that, you have to let go of the past and not be afraid to reach out and have that talk, that sensitive discussion, where you show your true self. You show the tender side of Leo. Because Leo isn't all, you put on a good front of being tough and, bossy, but you have a big heart. Leos have big, big hearts, and you're just so giving and so caring. And people need to see that side sometimes, more often, than the lion roaring. And, it's okay to roar when you have to, when you're defending your family and you're defending your principles. But then sometimes you want to show that softer side, that you want to purr like a kitten, So let's see what the astrology has to say. So for you, Leo, yep, this is a work thing. You have a full moon in your 6th house. The moon is in the 6th house with Pluto and Jupiter, and even Saturn. And then the Sun and Mercury are in your 12th house. So this is about, you've been keeping, the 6th house is the house of your day-to-day work environment, your colleagues, and it's also the house of health. So for some of you, you might be completing some project that's been really important. You've been working with others to complete, and it's going to lead to major changes where you're going to be seen as someone very powerful and competent. And the Pluto and Jupiter coming in the 6th house, you could get major recognition. It could even lead to an increase in earnings, because Pluto and Jupiter coming together is a wealth aspect and opportunity. You might be expanding something. If you're in a business, it might be expanding. It might be you might be dealing with these movers and shakers that want to really transform the company or transform whatever the work that you're doing. It's bringing change, major changes to the project. And with Mercury and the Sun in the 12th, the Sun in the 12th, you have been hibernating. When the Sun's in the 12th, you feel like, I don't want to be on stage. I just want to, just leave me alone. Let me go be a hermit, live in a cave. You've been staying home and isolating yourself. And Mercury, you haven't really been communicating your truth. You have ideas and you have thoughts. There are things that need to be said, but you're not saying them. Because the 12th is the house of hidden. Things that are hidden, even to yourself. It's your psychological house. Where you keep things to yourself, or you keep your thoughts to yourself. You're not really speaking up. But this Mercury and the moon. Well, Mercury is at 7 degrees Cancer, and it's sextile Uranus and Taurus. And you have Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house. So Uranus is bringing major change to your life direction. The 10th house is your house of career. And where are you going in life? What are you doing? What do you want to do? With Uranus there, you may feel like you want to be freed from something. You want something that allows you, that gives you more freedom. You're tired of the routine, or you're tired of structures, or you want to bring innovation to the work that you do. You want to do things in a different way, not in the same way that it's been done in the past. So you might be butting heads with some people who are very conservative, and who want to keep things the way they've always been. But you've got all these ideas, because Mercury is sextiling Uranus. You've got ideas, but you're afraid to express them, like, because you don't want to fight with people. You're keeping them to yourself. They're like ruminating. They're coming from your subconscious. You have a lot of really good ideas. You need to share them because they're brilliant. The moon is also sextile Neptune, and the sun is trine Neptune in the 8th house. So you could be, the 8th house is the house of resources, the house of money that you get from others, like financial support. So if you're getting any money, if money's coming in, it's coming in from an organization that is concerned with social justice. It could be, Neptune has to do with healing, hospital, spirituality. So it could be that there are organizations whose main goal is to help others less fortunate. So if you're working for a company like a nonprofit or something, you might be raising money for a cause. Sometimes Neptune can bring a little confusion, so there might be some confusing negotiations going on with the powers that be. You have Venus in the 11th house, and it's trine Mars. Now Venus has been, let's see, where is Venus? I don't know if I have the degree. Oh, it's 7 degrees, okay. So Venus has gone back and forth. It came into Gemini, it went retrograde, now it's moving forward. At some point this month, it's going to square Neptune. So there could be some confusion around a friendship and money. So you just want to make sure if you're lending money to anyone, or if you're counting on someone for support financially, there could be, Neptune can take that person away. Someone that you've been counting on may not be there for you. Just something to be aware of. Now, Venus is sextile Mars, and Mars is in your 9th house. So this is the house of higher education, travel, teaching, learning, publishing. So you could be moving into a new location. You could be changing, you might be learning new skills with Mars in the 9th. You could be connecting with people from different cultures. You could be reaching out to a global audience. And Chiron is there too. So there's like a wound that you need to heal that involves the 9th house. Maybe it's around education. Do you feel like you didn't get enough training in your life? Maybe you need more training to feel more confident. Or maybe it's your belief system. You don't believe, you have different beliefs. Or you're learning how to take care of yourself, how to heal. Maybe you're connecting with people that have avant-garde ways of healing. You might be trying alternative healing methods. What else? Mercury is squaring Mars. Where do you have Mercury? You have Mercury in the 12th, square Mars in the 9th. That has to do with your belief systems. You might argue with people over ideology. Maybe you feel really strongly about a certain belief system that you've always had, and you're running into people that have different viewpoints, and you might be battling it out. You want to be careful with Mars. When Mars is square Mercury, you may come on too strong or be too aggressive, because Mars is the warrior, and you combine that warrior energy with Mercury, them's fighting words, It's like that's when people start to wind up getting into shouting matches. The other thing that Mars and Mercury both rule is action, travel. Mercury rules travel. So you want to be careful. Don't get mad and jump in the car and drive, You don't want to get into an accident because you're not paying attention because you're angry. especially because Mars is in one of your travel houses. So let's see, the new moon in Cancer is in your 12th house. This represents a new beginning in your psychology, your psyche. You know, the 12th house is the house of the unconscious. It's the house of hidden enemies, institutions, hospitals, prisons. You might be dealing with those kinds of institutions at that time. Maybe surrounding someone you know that you're worried about their health. It could be your own health. You need to take better care of your health, especially because you have Saturn in the 6th house. So it could be that all the work you've been doing, when Saturn's in the 6th house, you feel like a slave to your job. You just work. And maybe it's taking its toll. And it's time for you to have some more work-life balance at this new moon. So you're going to have an opportunity maybe to even, confide in someone or find someone that you can talk to. Because Mercury's there. It's like you have something that you need to get out. You need to release. You may have something within, some message that you need to, you have to find closure. You have to communicate. You have to get that wound out. Talk about whatever's been blocking you. Get it out. And it will help you move forward. Because once you release that baggage, it frees you. It let you feel lighter. And then you can move into the new cycle with less, all that heaviness. You won't have that heaviness. But definitely the new beginning in the 12th, you have a way, you can heal. You have an opportunity to heal if you're prepared to do the work and face reality. Face the truth. So you could have some blind spots that you're not aware of and people are trying to point out, and you might be like, no, I'm okay, So if you can work on those things, if you have the courage to look within and let the unconscious become conscious, bring it up from the depths, you can heal it and release it at this time. Jupiter is in the 6th with Pluto and Saturn. So your work environment is going through major changes. But Jupiter's bringing opportunity, but not without work. Because of all that Capricorn energy, it's a lot of work, yes, and you are drained. So you're feeling drained, and it's time for you to do something about it. It's time for you to think about nurturing yourself, because the Capricorn energy is in your work sector. And the Cancer energy is in your 12th house. That means you may not be taking care of yourself properly. You need to think about self-care as well as hard work. I mean, it's great to do the work. It's going to bring you recognition. I mean, everything that you've been working for, you're going to see some kind of completion and possibly reward for all the work. But it's taken its toll on your health. So you have to remember to recharge. You have to remember to nurture yourself too, not just your family and everyone else. You have to take time out. The 12th house sometimes means take time out to heal, take time out to rest. It can't be all work and no play. And I think that's what you're going to be. You have this new opportunity now to do that. Maybe at the full moon, you're completing the majority of the work on something. And now with this new moon, you can rest a little bit, take your foot off the pedal, off the gas pedal, and coast a little bit and recharge. You have an opportunity because the 12th house is also the end of a cycle, like you're completing something and you're getting ready for, like, right now it's the new moon in the 12th. Next month it'll be a new moon in your 1st house, so it'll be time for you to show your stuff, present the new you to the world. So take time to heal. There you have, and release. Finish up what you need to finish up, tie up all the loose ends, figure out where you want to go, make a decision, put the energy where it needs to be, and you're going to do fine, because look at what you've got. These are great cards. 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Things are going to start to happen. Especially Mars in Aries is favorable to Leo. It's a trine. Let's see, where's Mars in your chart? In the 9th house. So it's time to take action. You might decide to travel. You might be moving. Or at least learning new things. It's time you're going to be excited about the new beginnings and the new energy coming in. So I hope that this reading was a help to you, Leo. If you liked it, click on the like button, the subscribe button. If you're new, welcome. If you want to get a private reading where we go into your specific life situation, click on the link in the description box and we'll get you on this. It'll take you to my website. We'll get you on the schedule. In the meantime, thank you everyone for supporting this channel by likes, by subscribes, by ordering readings. I've enjoyed working with all of you. And have a wonderful July. And for those of you born in early Leos, happy birthday. And get ready for the changes, for the new energy coming in. Especially in August. August is going to be your month. You'll have that new moon in Leo. So do all your prep work now. And I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.